Hey, yo, man, this is crazy. You ever thought about where you grew up and how you became the person that you are today? You ever thought about your childhood and the things that you used to do? Back in the day, we used to play video games, GTA. Most importantly, we played outside. This right here is where I grew up at. This is my neighborhood. This is my block. These are the streets that made me the man that I am today. You know, you think about it, 10 years ago, the life that you manifested, the life that you dreamed of, I was 14 at the time, right? I'm 24 now, I was 14 at the time, you know, dreaming about the life that I always wanted for myself. Back then, they used to call me Lil Mouse. That was my name on the street, Lil Mouse, right? You know, now, the man I am today, I'm Sebastian James Sanders, the youth motivational speaker, the nonprofit Don. But the things that I did then helped me to become the man I am today. I want you to look at something. Take a look at the block, take a look at the stop sign and the streets and the different houses, right? Never forget where you came from. A lot of people get to a certain height of success and they just forget everything that made them the man that they are or the woman that they are. I can never forget my roots. So today, I'm taking you back to my block. I'm taking you back to when I used to be outside in a mustard shirt, Nike shorts, bummed out sneakers, hooping all day, Lil Mouse. My mama calling me to go in the house at 8 o'clock because I had a curfew. I'm taking you back to those days. Taking you back to the times where I used to sit in my room and watch Kobe Bryant play basketball, and I used to dream of doing the things that I am today. Today we going home, and this is home for me. You see it, but can you believe it? I got a little mouse when I first moved over here. So we walking in here now, this actually used to be a pool.
Hello, Mr. Sanders.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I know it's been a minute.
Yes, it has.
It's been a minute, but I just want to say before we even get into the conversation, like I'm proud of you.
Yes.
And I mean that. You know you came a long way, and you know I stayed on you at UTSA, but I think it was for the better. So
yes.
You know, keep doing your thing for sure.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be doing this with you.
Nah, I appreciate you.
You're making history.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
For sure.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about growing up in this neighborhood? How was it like? Can you describe that?
Yeah, man, this is a history neighborhood. I like to say that because you got a lot of people from A-Leaf came out of here, right? So a lot of us grew up on these same streets, these same blocks, and for me it was fun. Like you playing outside. You know, back then you didn't have the social media wave, you didn't have as much technology. So we was outside all day. Like I'm literally like after school, if you didn't have basketball practice or whatnot, you outside from like 5 to like 8 or 9, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. On the weekends you outside 10 and 8. You doing shifts outside, right? And so for me, you know, it was fun and vibrant. You know, I got to grow up with so many different people, and you know, the things that I learned back then, it made me the man that I am today. So like going through, you know, used to have the fights in the neighborhood, used to have people didn't like each other.
Yeah.
You know, all the stuff.
Is that how you got the Little Mouse? I heard you mention Little Mouse.
So I got Lil Mouse. So I originally, I wasn't supposed to be in this area. I came from the West Tomer, so I was over there at Outley, and then I was supposed to be going to O'Donnell, honestly, but we ended up moving to this side of town, and then I came on this street, and when I came over here, it was a bunch of people outside. So it was like Nelson, we had some sisters that was from New Orleans, they was really cool, and you had a bunch of people, Cortez, B. Averill, Josh Bradford, Caleb, it was so many of us out here, and so I was a new kid on the block, and I'm like 6th grade, I'm a young dude, right?
You're a new kid.
I'm little, I didn't hit my growth spurt maybe until like high school, because I'm 5'11" now, so you know, now I'm 5'9", but I'm messing with you. But nah, I was little back then. I was a little dude, so I got on the block, you know. He's like, man, you look like a mouse. And then I remember one of the girls from New Orleans, I got mad. She's like, he like a cute mouse. I was like, yeah.
Oh,
and so I just, you know, they used to call me Little Mouse. You know, I ran with it. I only ran it for a few years, though.
Yeah.
You know.
So that name came from this.
From this block, yeah.
Okay, that is interesting.
Went to go play basketball, and then knock on the door, like, hey, can Mouse come outside? I was like, Mouse, who the hell is Mouse?
Did your mom ever start calling you that?
Nah, she was
like, nah. So that was literally a childhood outside name.
Yeah, that was the outside name until I got a little older. You know? My mama, my home name is Stank.
Okay,
so
Stank.
My mama been calling me Stank. My granny been calling me Stank since I was a kid, right?
Okay.
And so my granny called me Stankaboo. I hate when she do that, but you know, granny called me Stankaboo, mama still call me Stank. But it is what it is. That's family.
So what was it like with your mom and your childhood? Who lived in the house with you? Was it just your mom? And
yeah, so it was always my mom and her husband. And so my mom and my dad, you know, they you know, divorced or split when I was like 2 or 3 years old, but they've always been very and like cordial. Always kept a really good relationship, you know. So I was blessed to have, you know, I go to my mom's house, I go to my dad's house, but they had a really good relationship, you know. They made sure by any means, you know, make sure we take care of him regardless of how we feel about each other. So I appreciate that. And to this day, man, they still good people.
And do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have a younger brother.
Okay.
So my little brother, his name is Nick. He grew up out here with
I
me.
was gonna say, so what was the age difference? How were you? You would say you was in the 6th grade.
So I moved out here when I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
Or maybe 5th grade. I'm sorry. I think it was 5th grade.
So
yeah.
was he was born here? Or?
So I'm 5 years older than my little brother. So, you know, if
he was a baby.
Yeah. Well, I think he was like 1st grade, maybe kindergarten.
Okay.
But he was out here, you know, playing basketball all day long and all that. So yeah, he was here.
Yeah. So what could you describe your childhood of friends? Like, how many friends did you have growing up? Were you allowed to go over people's house? Were your parents strict? How was that?
So my mom, she was like, I ain't gonna lie, she was a little strict, right? So everybody knew, like, you know, the street lights come on, I have to go in the house, right?
Oh, wow.
So, it just like, she like, stank. I'm like, damn, I gotta go in the house, right?
But,
you know, it was cool, though, because that made me the man I am today. You know, teaching me that discipline and giving me that guidance, it allowed me to stay guarded, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, I had a bunch of friends growing up. Me and Elijah, you know, that's one of my closest homies. Elijah literally stayed right across the street from me. Mm-hmm. So, you know, me and Elijah used to go to basketball practice every morning. He used to knock on my door at 5 o'clock in the morning. His mama take us, my mama take us. So we had Elijah. Cornelius stayed over here. Jemiah stayed a couple streets over. Mm-hmm. Josh Bradford stayed on the same street as me. Who else we had coming up? I think that was pretty much it. Like my closest people. Yeah. Katori stayed across the street from me. Katori, Alex, and Lil Jesse. So, man, it was a lot of people, you know. So you literally, it was never a boy weekend because you got so many people on the street. And then all of us had siblings and we had friends. So you got everybody and their mama coming down here, right?
Yeah.
So it was like a block party every weekend.
When was it, or what age were you when you noticed, like, people do grow up differently? Like, we don't have the same parents as our friends. We don't have the same things as our friends. Some people have less, some people have more. When was that, when did that hit you? Or, you know, when did you notice that?
You know, I would say probably 7th grade year, right? So going into Holland, that's middle school. So middle school a lot different than intermediate, people more grown, and got to middle school and it's like, the conversations were different. In the intermediate, we video games and all that conversation got a little different in middle school.
Yeah.
And so you started to notice like everybody didn't necessarily have that at home. And it really hit home for me. I want to say when we was I want to say it was like a football practice or something like that. And one of our players, and he was like our coldest player. Like he was cold. He couldn't come. And so I was trash at football, by the way. I don't know why they had me playing football. And, you know, I'll tell you that story real fast before I go back to that.
Yeah, no, go ahead, because we were talking about sports earlier.
So we get to middle school, I want to play basketball. I ain't trying to play football. Coach is like, if you want to play basketball, you got to play football. Now, I think they did that so they can have the numbers, so they can have more kids. But I shouldn't be playing football. So I was on B team. I was safety. I didn't know what safety was. Okay. I still don't even know what safety is, to be honest.
You low-key probably would have been a good safety quarterback.
I was in the back. And so I remember, like, my dad used to come to my games. He used to get so mad at me. He's like, why you not tackling? Well, I'm just back there. He's like, you got to go up and all that. Yeah. So I was trash at football. And what I used to do was we used to do hidden drills. I told you I was little.
Conflict, yeah.
I was a little dude. And there was this one dude. I can't think of his name. I think his name was Devon Sway. He was a cool dude. But he used to get mad at me because I used to run outside the cones. So in the drills, you can't run outside the cones. You got to stay inside. So I used to juke him and get outside. He's like, stay inside the cones. So what I did was I started throwing my pads away before football practice. So I take my knee pad out and I throw it in the trash. So if you ain't got your pads, you can't tackle. He's like, where your knee pad at, Sebastian? I was like, oh, I don't know. He's like, oh, get out the drill then. I was like, hell yeah, I'm out of here. So I used to try to finesse my way out of football. I hated football, man. But what was the question again? I forgot about
Well, I was just asking you, when did you mentioned about the football player that you went to school with. This is when you seen something different about growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell.
It was like a Saturday practice, maybe before the game, and he was on A team, so he was like one of the best players on A team. I was on B team, and he couldn't make it, and he was like, man, coach, I just couldn't. I have to watch my little sister or something like that. And I was like, wow, man, that's different because me, I can go home and be a kid.
Yeah,
and
you know.
That's when I noticed like things are a lot different. Yeah, and it was a shocker for me. Yeah. I felt different after that, you know. And that's when I knew things weren't always the same at every home.
So, could you tell me about? You said you felt different. Can you tell me where that energy started coming about? Like, you know, wanting more, or you know, having more, or giving, you know, that sense of character. When did that start building in?
You know, I think my dad installed that in me as day one. You know, as a kid, like I was always into business. And I always tell people this, and they think I'd be lying, but you can ask my aunt and my parents. As a kid, I never really played with toys. So I wanted to be like my dad. So everything I wanted, I used to tell my granny, can you take me to Family Dollar? I want the fake money and I want the fake cell phones. That's all I ever wanted as a kid. And I used to love playing business type of stuff. I used to always want to be in charge of stuff. And so I think that wanting more was always installed in me because that's what my dad did. And so I always wanted to be just like him. But the giving part, you know, for me, I think at that moment, you know, of him not being able to come to practice, that made me think about things a lot different. But on the flip side of that is like, you gotta think about it like, if nobody gives to these communities like this, who's gonna save us?
Exactly.
Nobody. I mean, as much as we gonna yell at a councilman and yell at a principal and things like that, we gotta save us, you know. And I think about like, what if I don't go that route of saving people and I care about self, you know. There's so many people's lives that you touch that you don't even know that you're touching.
Exactly.
And so, you know, I think about what that man did for us in the basketball court. I was like, man, I want to have a legacy and impact like that, you know, and that's kind of where that giving part came in. And I don't think it really clicked for me until I got to UTSA because I had to mature, you know. In high school, I wasn't trying to give nothing. I just wanted to give my time to the world and be fly, but I didn't want to give and go and volunteer or anything like that. But, you know, I think as I grew as a man, I started to understand who I am as a person. I realized God placed me on a different path. Son, I need you to go give. I need you to give. I don't need you to go over here and be a star or whatever. I need you to give. And, you know, I had to really come to terms like, this is who I am as a man. And once I understood that, I think it makes sense for me to come back here because I couldn't come back here 2 years ago and have the nostalgia that I have now. It's like coming back here is like, wow, it's all, my whole life is coming full circle. And so I think it's been in me the whole time, but it took me time to mature or grow as a man in order to understand it.
So right now we have Mr. Jeremiah Whitaker, aka J Black, Sebastian's childhood friend.
Yes.
Can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about Mr. Sanders?
Man, when I tell you this guy's a character, just everyday, non-stop jokes. J Black, he came up with the name J Black.
J Black, yeah, I remember that.
Where'd that come from? How did that come about?
So pretty much, of course I'm dark skinned, so so pretty much I was a little bit darker than what I was, but he was like, Jay, my name is Jamal, so then it was Black. It just flowed. It just stuck with me, so it just flowed. And we just.
He was a character. He had you guys rolling all the time.
Yes, all the time.
All the time, just laughing about nothing.
Nonsense.
Everything was funny to us, like we were, you know, we was kids, right?
Yeah,
So, you know.
of course. And you guys spent most of your childhood outside on these streets.
Yes, on the streets, riding bikes, playing basketball.
We had pegs back then. Remember, you get on the back of your homie bike, you'll peg you to holler, but yeah.
When did you guys started realizing that you guys were coming men? You know, I know y'all were little boys, but I know for women, we, you know, had cycles, so that's when we probably felt like we were, you know, becoming a woman. But when did you guys realize that you guys were becoming young men, you know, together, you know, being in the same neighborhood, same childhood? How was that? When did y'all establish that manhood? Like, we're not, you know, little boys anymore. We becoming, you know, young men.
Wow.
So I'll say as times where we were, like, as much as times we were alive, we really manifest the life that we had because we were, it's certain things that we used to just see. And just like, as we got older, you know, other people that we associated with got older. And so it's like they were doing other different things.
Like,
so we was like,
not messing with it.
Not messing with
y'all
it.
was different.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So what about you? Did you guys ever like really realize like, well, when did y'all, I guess, put out y'all goals? Like, this is what we want to do when we grow up, or this is what I want to be. Did y'all ever have those type of conversations?
Yeah, every day.
Every day. Like,
Every day.
you will see it. You'll go, especially when you go to the mall, you'll start seeing different people, and you know, you'll see a car like, I'm gonna get that. I wanted to do that. I want to have this business. So, man, we were always doing some type of hustle. Like, we used to wash cars. I used to sell CDs. And I was always finding ways to get some money. And so, you know, me and Jamias, we used to always figure out stuff. And I think at one point, Jamias, he got into fashion. And so that's when I knew, like, he was always going to be creative in marketing. I always knew that was going to be his thing. I had it, I dressed, but I never wanted to put stuff together. Like, I could never do a clothing line. Sneakerheads. Oh, my God.
Wow.
You know how many deals we did at that gas station? I didn't sold so many shoes and bought so many shoes, traded so many shoes. Like, that was us, like, for real. We had a little business going on, for sure.
Okay. Businessman, entrepreneurs, y'all had that mindset at
Yeah,
a young age.
Yes, at a young age, yes.
Could you tell me one of y'all favorite memorable moments on this street? Something that y'all might have did, or something that y'all probably did that y'all parents don't know? Or
let's talk about the remember what was that? Harlem Shake.
Oh my, that's on YouTube somewhere. That's crazy.
How have you guys recognized the growth from each other? Like, from knowing each other for 13 years ago from now, like, what, is there a difference? Do you see a difference, or does it still be the same? How is that friendship, how is it still standing, you know, for having a childhood friend? Because not too many people still have a childhood friend around.
Facts, yeah.
Or, you know, some not in communication, some live, you know, distance apart. but for you guys to, you know, still be in Houston, you know, still living your life, doing what you guys, you know, dreamed for, how has that been? And you guys show recognition of each other's growth.
So pretty much, if I'm just being transparent with you, the conversations that we have, they probably got a little bit more enhanced as we became grown men, but we always would have the same type of conversations that we have like now.
Gotta have that.
Just we built that foundation to where we at now. So yeah, I don't think nothing changed.
It's more like family.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like family. You know, moms know each other, our cousins and stuff. So man, it was like, you know, it was crazy because like you'll just think about everything back then and to see the person that he is today. We're the same people. You know, one thing I think is the reason why we're still strong and good friends today is we never changed. You know, we never changed. Everything has always been authentic, and that's who we are. And so, man, it's crazy, man, and I really appreciate, you know, just having a friend like that for real. So
having a childhood friend.
Yeah.
I'm so honored that you guys are, you know, doing this for each other, like, you know, being there, having that support system. It's good to have that, and definitely as men, you know, how have y'all really paid attention to that? Because I know you said about health, but how do you guys feel in general about young men? You know, just in general on how young men grow up and they take the wrong path. Yeah. You know?
I would say honestly, everybody's journey is different, right? My way to success, his way to success, we all have different success, but at the end of the day, it's all about just understanding, knowing who you are first before you can just get to, you know, just become a man. So I'll just say that.
Yeah, but you know, as a young man, you know, you have so much ahead of you, especially as a young black man. You know, it's so much ahead of you in life. There's so many things that go against you. But I think it's important that you have a support system. You have people around you, whether that's family, friends, you know, that are pushing towards the right direction. You know, coming up, it was, like I said, it was 30, 40 kids around here. But some of us went left, some of us went right. Exactly. And the homies that went right, you know, it's still all love. But it's like, man, you had so much potential and you hate to see that. And that's the worst thing in this world is waste of talent. Especially as young black men, because we got some friends that were creative, that was dope, that was going to be NBA stars, NFL stars, but you see they went the other way. And sometimes you think like, man, maybe if I could have been there more for them while I was there, you know, I don't know how things would have turned out. But I think it's important that you just have some type of foundation. You know, everybody not gonna have a big brother, big sister, but if you got a foundation of homies and girlfriends and friends that's there for you, that's your rock, and you keep those people with you. And to this day, you know, Jemias does his thing in real estate. You know, I lean on him for that. He leans on me for certain stuff. And so all my friends are doing some different things in different fields. And you make sure you just support each other. You know, whether that's a phone call. When I was in Oklahoma City, me and Jemias and Billy, we were on the phone for hours just chopping it up. You know, and then that foundation is still there, and it'll always be there. You know, those are the homies. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I have one last thing for you guys. If you guys could go back maybe 10 years, 13 years, or it wouldn't even go back, what would you tell your younger self that used to come outside all the time playing or something, whatever the case may be? What could you tell your younger self, or, you know, younger Sebastian, what would you tell younger Jemias? Y'all tell each other.
Nah, that's dope. I'll go first. To the younger Jemias, I'll just tell them like, man, just keep doing your thing. Keep embracing your uniqueness. Jemias is always like, he never really played basketball. He was trash at basketball, to be honest. But he was a track star. He was a football player. So he was always, we'll go play basketball. He'll do something different, right? And we always make fun of like, damn, why you in the house? Or not why you in the house, but why you outside with the fashion of the clothes and things like that. Yeah. I would just say, man, keep embracing that uniqueness, because that has got him to the man that he has today. You know, he's probably the only kid to come out this block to go to a whole nother school, college out of state. He went to San Francisco. We went to UTSA, but he went to San Francisco and lived a whole nother life. And so every kid doesn't get that chance, right? So embrace that uniqueness, and that's one thing I tell them, man, keep being you, because at the end of the day, they pay you to be you. They don't pay you to be anybody else.
Exactly. I love that. What would you say to Mr. Sanders?
Oh man, so pretty much. So I would just be saying, honestly, just take it day for day. The man that you see back then is not the man that you're gonna be for further on 10 years from now. So, but honestly, just take it day by day. Instant gratification. Instant gratification is not going to be. Damn, I missed that whole thing up. Gotta cut.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Go ahead.
Pretty much, I was gonna say instant gratification is always not what you're looking for. You always want to look for longevity. Longevity goals.
Thinking long term.
Yes.
Not short term.
Yes,
I like that.
I don't think it's really just much I have to really just say about the man and who he is today, because at the end of the day, this is his route. This is destination.
Definitely. Yeah, you one of those everything.
It's destined.
It's destined. Everything happened for a reason. Yeah.
I'm one of those too.
For sure. Y'all want to ride bikes, dog? I got some bikes. We want to ride. Yeah,
we at our next spot.
Yeah.
So can you guys tell me what it is, where we at right now? What is this?
Man, this is the spot, man. So like, so right here, you look back here, you got Sicily's. They got some really good pizza and pasta. My bro Mike used to mess them calzones up. He get 3 calzones. I'm like, damn, dude, eat all that.
But they been here.
Yeah, they been here for a minute. You had some few stores that were here, but they bounced around. You had Palais Royal. Now, we didn't shop here, right? we went in there shopping. But I ain't gonna lie, we used to go in there and get like black tees, white tees.
So it was a clothing store?
Yeah, it was a clothing store. More for the, the older people. But,
oh, okay.
we get some tees out of there right before a football game. So that was there. This Family Dollar been here since since forever.
Yeah, Family Dollar.
That Family Dollar then saved us from being thirsty so many times. Like, you got the 75-cent Powerades, the dollar, the Powerades. And I used to come up here and get my little snacks, man. My little Funyuns, my hot Funyuns, my candy, fruit snacks and all that. So you had that there. I didn't really deal with a lot of them stores, but Bank of America, I got my first, so my granny took me here when I was like 15 so up the street I used to work at Wendy's.
Okay.
So I used to flip, the burgers and all that. Me and Mike used to work there.
Yeah.
So
that was your first job?
That was my first job.
Do you remember getting hired there?
Yeah, it's a Miss Annette. It was an older black woman. And she used to have this thing like, when the buzzer goes off, that means the fries are done. So she was like, put your finger on it. So I used to get in trouble. I was like, all right, dude. But yeah, that was my first job down there. And then at my Bank of America, that's when I first started banking. My granny got me an account. And then right here was Randall's.
Yeah,
now
Randall's. It says El Rancho.
Yeah, I don't, El Rancho, so yeah. So now that's different, right? So, we used to go in there and get Randall's. I used to go and get cheesecake and cookies out of Randall's. So that was the spot.
But man, one of your favorite go-to?
Yeah, I love cheesecake. But this was the spot, man. Then there was a Subway over there. We used to go and get like $5 footlongs back when they were $5.
Yeah, no bag. No, Subway footlongs was in back then.
They were cold back then. I used to always want to work things. Like, it's right here. But it is what it is, man. But yeah, this, we used to walk here, ride a bike, whatever. But majority of the time we walked. But this was our little spot right here, man.
And you mentioned Bank of America. So your first job was Wendy's. Do you remember what you did with your first paycheck?
Man, first paycheck. Ooh, I don't. Probably bought some shoes.
Yeah.
You know what? I bought the Charles Barkley All-Star Galaxies. That's what I did. I remember. I got that $300
check. Did you have to deposit your check, or it came straight directly?
Nah, they used to give you the check and you got to go cash it.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I got it. And I went and cashed it. I went to Athlete's Feet or whatever. And I got that. It was a Hustle Gang shirt. It was a black and gold Hustle Gang shirt that T.I. used to have. I went and got that shirt, and I went to go buy the Galaxies, and I wore it to the football game. I wore it that Friday at school, and I wore it that night to the football game.
Oh.
I was killing it. I was flying.
Was this high school at the time?
Yeah, this is junior year.
Junior year.
My first job,
junior year. So your junior year. Okay.
Yep.
You done took me around your whole city. You brought me to your high school.
Yeah, we here.
What's the name of this high school?
So this is A-Leaf Hastings. So right now we're on the main campus. We're on the back end side, North Gym, Crump Stadium, and then down there is the 9th grade center.
9th grade center.
Right here you got the Hastings Annex, and then over there you got Elsick High School. So we was right next to each other.
Wow. So you went to a high school that was right across from another high school.
Yeah.
Can you tell me that experience?
It was cool, like freshman year. So everybody used to be on Bell around freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like when you would walk down like this long little street or whatever, and like you can connect with the Elsick students. So we was 9th graders, so we were just walking down there having fun. For us, it was us like going to see the girls that Elsick got, right?
Yeah.
And then as you showing off your outfit, like really on Fridays when you wore your best outfit. So Monday, Tuesday, it's light. Wednesday is a half day. We got out early on Wednesdays, like around 1. So we wasn't.
That was every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Every Wednesday, yeah. And then Thursday was cool, but Friday you turned up because you got the pep rallies, you got the football games, and it's Friday. So Friday you wear your best fit and you get on Bell Rim and you walk down and do your thing.
You mentioned best fit, so you guys didn't have dress code?
No.
Y'all can wear anything y'all want?
So 7th grade, 8th grade, everything up to high school was all uniform, right?
Yeah.
You got the Hastings, it's free dress.
So do you feel that plays a role in people's personality and persona when coming to high school, where you have to wear whatever you want and you see everybody with, new kicks?
Yeah.
Do you think that played a part in your personality, your dress code?
Yeah, for me it did. You look good, you feel good.
Exactly.
So when I'm dressing to party, I naturally just have a swagger, that demeanor about myself. And so I think it has a lot, especially in high school, because you're finding yourself. So the way you dress is you just, you know, trying to figure out who you are as a person. So for me, you know, I used to love like loud stuff. I love like Jeremy Scott's. Jeremy Scott's is like these custom Adidas, and they always came in like crazy colors. Like I used to love wearing that. And so for me, I was always just wearing something different and trying to be, just always try to be different. And that was just my personality. I always felt like, you know, no matter who I was and what I looked like, I always felt like an outsider to everybody because I feel like I was always wired different. I like different things. God put me on a different path. So I always felt like I was an outsider, and I think that's the way I dressed. And to this day, you know, I still think I had that outsider mysterious about me. But you know, dressing in free dress, man, it just allows you to be yourself and be who you are. You had the quiet people who didn't even like to dress up, and they just wore pajamas all day. But that's them. That's who they are.
And if you was to like, did you guys do like the yearbook and like most popular things like that? What would you consider yourself be voted for if you could go back? Or did you get voted for something?
So I was voted for, I was nominated for Prime King. I didn't win. I'm mad about that, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie, I should have won that. I had, it was best dress. It was me.
Oh, of course.
My homie Corey was in there. I didn't win and I won, but it's all good. I won most humorous.
Okay.
Yeah, you know me.
So you was goofy. Okay. Is there a difference from being goofy or was you a class clown?
I was both.
Oh, really?
So I was that dude, like, I get in front of the class and read like just in a whole nother like tone. It was just, I always did something, you know, and the teachers used to get annoyed. I used to always make my classmates laugh. But honestly, that allowed me to be the man that I am today. So getting in front of 30, 40 students that were my peers, I can go back and speak in front of thousands. So it gave me the confidence, it gave me the stage, and that's why I'm able to do the things that I do today.
So you believe that confidence definitely started in the classroom?
Oh, it started right there in that classroom, right? And I had a classroom right there in that, if you can see that little window area. I can't think of her name though, but I had a class up in there, and man, she used to always mess with me. She was a really good teacher, but she used to always tell me like, you're a leader, you know, embrace that leadership. And so, you know, that's what I did. Like, who want to read out loud? Me? Like, why is he always raising his hand?
Yeah, you know, was always one of those.
Yeah, I was one of them kids, man. And I remember I had to teach 11th grade year. I can't think of her name, but she, I was reading in front of the class, being class clouded or whatnot. So she pulled me outside. She's like, Sebastian, you're very smart, but you hurt me. I said, what are you talking about? Like, hey, what's going on? She's like, you just always doing something extra. I was like, that's just me, you know? She's like, well, you know, I don't want to stop you from being you, but she was like, you know, at the end of the day, it's a gift. So I want you to really embrace that gift. So when she told me that, I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah. And, you know, and that's what it was. Surface.
My last thing I would say or have a question about, what would you say is Hastings college readiness is like? Because I know you went to UTSA. How did you find out about UTSA? Were you dealing with school things or was it on your own research? How did that come about?
You know, college was always talked about in my house. So my dad had me looking at college's freshman year. So he was on it. I originally wanted to go to Sam Houston. Glad I didn't, because ain't nothing out there but a jail and a school. So I wasn't trying to go to no Huntsville. But I wanted to go to Sam Houston originally, and I almost went. But I don't know. It's like some guy called me and was like, nah, we're not going to go there. So we had a college counselor, Ms. Hernandez. She probably remembers us because we used to annoy her. Me, Billy, Chris, and Mike, we used to annoy this lady so much. But she helped us a lot. Like, you know, I applied and I did my admissions. I got accepted to like 6, 7 different schools, but she helped me figure out the financial aid. She helped me figure out the grants. She helped me figure out, you know, your GPA, all of that. So I would say the program there was good, but it could have been better. It could have been more advertised, right? But it was us having that mentality of wanting to do things, and we went to her and found out like, hey, this is what we want to do. This is where we want to go. And so she helped us. Billy's like, I'm going to UTSA. Mike is like, I'm going to UTSA. Then Elijah went to LC, like, I'm going to UTSA. So he's like, all right, let's do it.
Was you like the last one, or you was just like, y'all all around?
We all kind of same time. I think we all got accepted, and then once everybody figured out it was accepted, it's like, well, we're going to go to UTSA.
Okay, with poor fantastic hoes, because I got a...
Your father on your back. Put the whole family on your back.
Nice. I really enjoyed this. It's like
For sure. I appreciate you for taking this stroll with me and down memory lane. And this is where it all started, man. This is where I haven't been here since I graduated, honestly. So it's amazing to come back here and see things and how it's changed. And
definitely.
This is it, man. This is it. So this is the art of giving. You know, one man can change the world, and this is why I dreamed of changing the world. And you know, we're gonna continue doing that. So
Making
it is what
history.
it is. It is what it is, man.
H-Town shouty.
You see it, but can you believe it? You see it?
Yes.
You know, life is full of fences, roadblocks, obstacles, things that you gotta see through, get over, jump over, fly over, whatever it is. It's in your way. But will it be in your way forever? You know, right here I'm looking through the fence and, you know, it's transparent. Fences in life is transparent. You can see right through it. But the biggest thing is you can see through it, but do you believe it? Ask yourself that. Can you see it? I see it. I sat right here on this field 10 years ago looking at it, thinking about my life. So you know what? I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna go and inspire the world. I'm gonna be the man that I wanna be for my family. I'm gonna make generational wealth. I'm gonna make generational success. And it's full circle because I'm looking through this fence and I'm back to it. And I'm like, man, I can answer that question now. I really did believe it. I'm back and I'm thinking about it. As you look around, as you see, this is where it all started for me. This is my humble beginnings. This made Sebastian J. Sanders. And every time you see a fence in your life, as I told you earlier, it's transparent. You can see right through it. The biggest thing is right here is in the mental. Can you believe it? Because I believe it and I see it in you. This is the art of giving. One man can change the world.